Hello. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is good. Let me know if you, dang, Casey Sunshine coming through with the super chat already. Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. Is the microphone on? Can you guys hear me? It looks like you guys can hear me. I'm using my headphones today. So it's different. How's everyone feeling? I didn't want to do music today. I just wanted to come on and, listen to some birds and listen to the river and chill with you now because we have so much to talk about this week, and I want to recap some of the energy of last week because it's a lot, and I know you guys know that, and I know you guys feel it. Diana Staben says, how are you feeling? I feel really, really good. I feel really good. I feel like I'm getting so much, like every day I can see myself getting more into my zone, into my energy, into like my balance. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. And you guys know, I believe as an astrologer, as an intuitive, and as a spiritual person, I believe that if you know how to work with the energy of the planets, you can make them work for you, not against you. I say that all the time. And it just is confirmation for me that, in times like this, where I see certain things, some people kind of collapsing under the weight of some stuff that's going on. And I look back at my journey, my process and everything. I'm just like, it's just such a gift to be able to have astrology and to be able to spend time with the divine and to ground myself, to center myself, and to really, no matter what's going on around in the external world, that I am right here, I'm present, I get stronger. You know what I mean? It's such a beautiful thing. So I watch as some people, if they deviate from that, if they get caught in their head space, if they spend too much time like allowing things to get off balance in their lives, they tipple so quickly. And it's moments like that I hate to see it, but it's always like, I'm always telling my friends, I'm always telling, the people that are nearest to me, my family, my friends, and also my clients, to come back to source, and remember that this is what it is that we're working with. And as soon as they do that, they pull up, they recenter, they refocus, and they step back into their strength again. They're back on their grind. And it's such a reminder, and it's such a blessing and a gift that it is that we have this time together, Astro Chat Live, to be able to talk about everything that's been going on, to recap last week, to understand what's going on around us now, and prepare for what we're moving into. So yeah, I just want to say it's just been an honor. It's been a gift. It's a blessing. I feel amazing, and I hope that you guys do. I know that last week I was saying that last week is one of those game-changing weeks. I could see it in the chart. I could see it I could feel it. I could feel it before we even started seeing the results of it. And I was telling you guys, try to stay as flexible as possible. There's this common theme sometimes in the astrological world where we want to hyper focus on the aspects of certain transits that make us feel good initially, and to the point where we overshadow all of what's happening, all sides of a vibe. So we can't just hyper focus on what we think is quote unquote good. We have to focus on everything, because the universe and the planets, they don't sugarcoat things with us. They give it to us straight, usually. So we have to learn how to work with that and to respect it. That's the biggest thing, is respecting it. And that's something that you'll find during these chats, is this, we talk a lot about respect and working with these energies, and maybe not mastering it, because, that would take like a lifelong skill, but becoming more comfortable with it. and seeing how everything is connected. So this week, I'm actually interested in hearing how was last week for you guys? I will say, I want to recap, Jupiter conjunct Pluto is the energy that we're working with still. And, it can really, but it's not just the Jupiter conjunct Pluto type of energy. It's the chart as a whole. It can really bring in a real need to be flexible and to be open to adjustment. Okay, Big Cat Energy says, yeah, so much crying. Aaliyah Daly, good to see you again, love. She says, it's been so intense. I believe it. Diana says, horrible. She lost her job. See, these are things that it is I'm talking about. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are saying last week was rough. A lot of people saying it was very intense. A lot of low energy, a lot of feelings of depression is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people saying it was rough. Someone says that they were drained. Their vibes felt really drained. Someone was just said that they were working with healing sexual trauma, using last week in order to heal from past sexual trauma. I love that you're able to do that. Last week and also this week is a great time to work with that type of energy to heal from past issues, past wounds. I'm going to recap really quickly, you guys. What I was saying last week was that Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct in the sign of Capricorn, and that energy is not just here and now present. It is the culmination of everything that has been happening in the last year and a half, almost 2 years, and longer than that, as these planets, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, at one point Mars, were moving through the sign of Capricorn. So Saturn is no longer in the sign of Capricorn, but Saturn has only just recently exited. Also, Saturn rules Capricorn, so the energy is still there. It still exists. We can't say that, or just kind of like sweep out the house and pretend like we didn't experience what it is that we've experienced. Let's say there's a party. Let's say you throw a big party. This is going to be a metaphor. Let's say you throw this big party in your house, a birthday party or a New Year's Eve party, and you have all these friends and family coming in to spend time with you, and then all these memories are made, good and bad, and then everyone leaves to go home, or maybe a few people linger into the next day, and then they leave to go home, and you're kind of left with cleaning up the mess, right? So not only are you sweeping out all of the mess that that happened during the party, and you throw it away, and you're washing the dishes, and you're sending out lingering gifts of thank you for coming, and whatever, but you still have the memories of those things. You still have the memories of the party. You still have the memory of that experience. And although you cleaned out house, although what has happened within that party, within that environment, although it already happened, the memories, good and bad, they're still there, and they could be with you for your entire life. So that's what I want you guys. That's a really good metaphor that I just came out of thin air with, but that's just kind of how I work. That's a really good metaphor for what it is that we're working with now. That some of you guys are dealing with the past memories of the energy that Saturn, all of these major planets, especially Pluto in particular, all of these major planets were putting all of their weight into the energy, into the sign of Capricorn. And that can really be spirit crushing for a lot of people. And then when we have Jupiter come through and conjunct Pluto, which was exact last week, that's why the internet was continuing talking about it, but I can guarantee you that everyone's going to start dying down. Just because that energy was exact last week doesn't mean that we're not dealing with that still now. These planets move very, very slowly. That's why it's important for us to have Astro Chat Live. It's why it's important for us to recap these types of transits, because it's not just one blog post, you shoot it out there and you just take it and you're like, okay, this week is going to be tough. It still lingers on into this week and for the rest of this month, actually. So what I want to do is not spook you guys and to not make you afraid and to not make you feel powerless. I want to show you how to work with this type of energy so that it doesn't feel, it doesn't catch you in its web. Okay, so years later, 10 years later, you're going to look back in moments like this and be like, thank goodness for this moment. Thank goodness for that pressure. Thank goodness that this is how I reacted to it, because now look at me. It's not only looking at your scars. Like, I want you guys to understand that it's not that working with the energy of these planets, moving forward into the future, you're not 10 years down the line. You're not going to look back and be like, this scar here, this is where I bled out. This created pain. When you learn how to work with the energy of the planets, not everything will create pain for you. In fact, you will find that things that would normally be painful for you, things that would normally be triggering for you, you have this tremendous release, this tremendous sense of peace. And you're somehow able to not be impacted by it, crushed by it, but made better by it without you coming in and feeling like you've had to sacrifice some aspect of yourself. That's the energy that we're working with. That's what I want you guys. That's the intention that is I'm setting for this Astro Chat Live, and also any Astro Chat Live, moving forward. That I don't want you guys to look at these things and be like, okay, I'm going to have to suffer. Don't put that intention out there. Okay, sometimes there is suffering. Even in the best moments, there can be suffering where your heart is just so open. You're just so vulnerable. That's when you fall in love for the first time. And that suffering of like being uncomfortable and telling someone that you care about them and not knowing what their reaction is going to be, or what it feels like to love someone and totally put yourself out there. And maybe they disappoint you in something, or maybe something happens, or maybe someone gets sick and you can't help them, you can't heal them, you feel totally powerless in that situation. There's that level of suffering, but it's not going to be needless suffering. It's not going to be you feeling weak and worn out unless you choose that. And I believe that you guys can actively choose better for yourself, okay? So we just dived right in. It's 12 minutes into the Astro Chat Live. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm Jessica Alexandria, and the creator of Bahati Life. Hold on, wait. Someone said, P.S. sis, everyone is not lawless like y'all. Something about being braless. Yo, listen, goddess vibes over here. I'm all about the no bra life. I mean, the majority of us are in self-isolation right now, just kind of staying by ourselves, and I am here for it. I didn't feel like, no, I know, Mel, I see you, honey. I don't mind. That's actually what I was going to talk about. Is we have some moderators here, Mel and Eric, and they pretty much kind of clean out the comments that are there to attack. For me, the Bahati Vibe tribe, just like it is for the Sacred Circle, these are things that are so sacred and so special to me. And it's by the grace of God that I'm able to have Mel and Eric working together. I love the no bra comments, to be able to protect our tribe. They know exactly what it is that they're doing. They know exactly what comments are appropriate and which ones aren't. This helps it so that we can help me to focus, so that I can get my message across. That's kind of been the blessing, and the quote unquote curse is that the more that the message is sharing, the more that the word is getting out there of how awesome these chats are, the more it can kind of attract lower energy type of people who want to come in and crash and burn it. But I mean, yo, when I tell you I've got protection on 6,000% over here. We wouldn't have gotten this long if we didn't have protection vibes going on, okay? So yes, you are allowed. Let me go through the rules really quickly. You are allowed to curse. One of my favorite curse words is the F-bomb. Feel free to use it here. That's not going to get you blocked. You are allowed to be totally transparent, but just make sure that you're being very respectful of everyone within this group, and that you're being respectful of me. If I feel like I am not being respectful, or if I'm not being respected, I have zero tolerance for that. If I see that someone else is being disrespected, I have zero tolerance for it. It will get wiped out very clearly, very quickly. Mel and Eric are very clear on those expectations. I want to go ahead and give you guys an invitation to go ahead and tag or text your friends and invite them right now in order to tune into Astro Chat Live in this moment before we really dive into the details of this. And also, I'm going to ask you to give this video a thumbs up. There are some people who immediately gave it a thumbs down, that video a thumbs down, and still that is such a gift, because The fact that you were one of the first people to thumb down this video before I could even talk just goes to show that you are my biggest fan. And I really appreciate that level of energy and intensity of you just putting that vibe out there. And either one, it adds to the queue of, encouragement. We have 1,000 people joining in right now and 460 thumbs up at the time. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you would like. The other thing that I want to say before I dive in to this week's Astro chat, thank you, is super chats, actually. Kind of like what Nico and or Nayoka, beautiful name, by the way. Can I name my first child that? Beautiful. And Tasha have done. I appreciate you guys' energy so much with the super chats. Basically, what a super chat is when you contribute money, a donation to the channel, but also a question. If you have something to say, by all means do that. Or if you want to give to the channel, this time is free. Well, I'm doing it for free. Like, I'm not asking for money or anything like that, but I do appreciate the super chats because they help to keep these types of things going. But if you have like a question, make sure that you don't put personal questions on there. For example, Danielle says, will you be restocking Miss May beauty spray? I'm obsessed with it. I love that beauty spray too. To answer your question really quickly is everything that I do within the apothecary, it has to be done on a specific timetable, and I won't create outside of it. Even though, like, I could make money off of it, I could profit off of it. If it doesn't match what's going on in the planets, if the energy of what's going on in the planets doesn't match the vibe of Miss May beauty spray and the intention of that spray, I will not create it. I haven't had it back. I haven't had that spray in the shop, in my apothecary, because the energy of the planet is just way too intense for that spray. That mist was actually created in honor of my grandmother, who's one of the softest women I've met in my life. And I'm not going to create that spray under the energy of these planets currently, because it's in honor to her, and I have to work with the energy of that vibe. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm not going to go live on Instagram. This is just our time for right now. Okay. So this week, I want to tell very, very quickly. I had a few visions, actually. Thank you, my love, for the super chat. I appreciate that. So I want to dive in really quickly and share a vision that it is that I had. I don't want to spook anyone, but I actually I was taking my notes and I was just writing down some things, just kind of channeling, and I started downloading a lot. And I don't see this affecting us personally, but it's current events. I want you guys to look out for it. I want you guys to keep a note out for it. If you see it, and I hope we don't, but if you see it, or when you see it, but fingers crossed that we don't, feel free to tag me on my Instagram account, or send it to me in a DM, or post it on your Instagram using hashtag Bahati Life, or using hashtag Bahati Vibe Tribe. The reason why is because I stay very much focused. I stay very much hyper-focused on what it is that I'm working on, whatever it is I'm doing. I don't really spend too much time looking at the news or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I stay very focused. So I miss a lot of current event type of stuff. But this vision that it is that I had, you guys, it was a little concerning, but then I looked at the chart and I was like, it does make sense. I saw a politician. I believe it was a politician. It looked like very politician vibes. That's the thing with my visions and my prophecies. Sometimes it's really hard to tell exactly what it is that I'm looking at, but I saw it very clearly. It looked like a very buttoned up political type of person. I believe it was a male. I believe it was a white male. And he got tackled, or someone tried to tackle him, or it could have also been a metaphor for a politician, a person in power getting tackled by something, like getting restrained. And I feel like we're going to see it. There's this little gate, like this little hole that we're working with, that spirit was kind of giving me, that it was anywhere between like a few hours ago, like, because that's sometimes how spirit works. It kind of gives like time, a certain level of time that I can understand. So it could be anywhere between 5.5 hours ago into now this week and half of next week, or maybe even to cover myself, I guess I could say all of next week. But I saw a politician getting tackled and taken down, and I don't know what that was. It felt like it was coming from two different sides. I don't feel like it was to hurt him. It was actually to protect them. But I just am starting to get this vibe of protection for everyone and everything, whoever this person is. So I'm not putting it out there as saying who it looked like to me or what it looked like, because I am very powerful with my words, and I don't want to speak anything out there, especially a vision like that. So just keep an eye out. If you guys do see it, tag me, if it starts trending or anything like that. Okay. Okay, wait. Jody says, Jess, they are attacking Dr. Fauci. He's so cute. He kind of spoke against 45. So I will say that Dr. Fauci, I'm probably not saying his name correctly, but he was way smaller than the vision that it is that I had. I actually saw a bigger type of politician. I feel like Dr. Fauci, and am I saying his name correctly? I feel like he's actually in the clear. I don't get, whenever I see him on, I feel such good sweetness off of him. He like vibes around him, like very protective vibes around him. So I'm not worried about him so much as I'm worried about other people. Okay. All right. So just put a note into that. The next thing that I want to say is that there is this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction still happening in the sign of Capricorn. It's very, very intense. And you're going to feel it like this weight, this pressure. And that's just how Pluto energy is. But when Jupiter comes into the mix, it takes that pressure and it expands it. So think about sinus pressure. And this is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about on a personal level. So I just talked about a prophecy that it is that I'm seeing, that I saw for the world and politics. But I want to talk to you guys about personal. In your personal life, I really want you guys to pay attention to your health. So there's a few things that are standing out to me. And it's the fact, one of the main things is the fact that we have Sun moving through the sign of Aries. And this takes all of this energy, all of this heat, and it pushes it into the head space. I'm getting a sense of sinus pressure, headaches, migraines. And I'm also, when I was taking notes, I'm getting head spins. I started feeling vertigo. I started feeling dizziness, really feeling off balance and wonky. If you normally have allergies, if you normally have sinus pressure, it's like a clamp. I'm also getting the jaw. I feel people are grinding their bones. They're grinding their teeth together. If you normally, when you sleep, if you normally don't, you're not a tooth grinder, you don't grind your teeth, you'll start grinding your teeth. Now you might not even realize it, but you wake up and there's pressure in your jaw. There's pressure in this side of the head. So you would think that it's your sinuses, but it's actually the pressure that's getting pushed on your skull, that's getting pushed on your head, that you feel it and you start grinding. You start grinding it. You can really feel it in your jaw and your teeth. There's a strong chance for wisdom teeth or dental realignment. It could, let's say you have your wisdom teeth pulled out in your, when you're in middle school or high school or whenever it is, right? It starts to feel like, oh, are you you start questioning yourself, like, do I have more wisdom teeth coming through? There's teeth pressure. There's pressure in the mouth. There's pressure in the jaw. Another way is irritation, irritability, anxiety. If you're not a person who normally is anxious or irritable or has anxiety issues, you could find your anxiety concentrating itself in really weird ways in the body. Okay. What I want you guys to do with this is to realize that these are underlying issues
that have been going on for a minute, but for a good, well, I want to say about, I was going to say 35%, but Spirit just said it's like 48, almost 50% of you guys. It's that serious. You've been dealing with underlying issues, not even realizing it. And it's making itself known. It's making itself aware. And in whatever it is that you're feeling that pressure, it's spirit, or it's your body's way, or the way of the planets being like, maybe don't take it too seriously. Not take it too seriously. But what I'm trying to say is, don't look at it in panic, but look at it and find solutions to the problem. So let's say it's your rest. Something about rest is coming through. You might have been a normal sleeper where you could sleep through the night, sleep peacefully. Now all of a sudden you can't sleep. Your sleep schedule is totally off. Or let's say you're, I don't know, whatever it is, you can start making adjustments in order to give yourself even the most minor details. Let's say your pillows are too tough. Switch them out for softer ones. Do some research into how you sleep and how to better support yourself so that you're well rested, so that your body is feeling healthy and supported. Let me read this super chat really quickly. Nefarious Erin says, I'm 714. Thank you, my love. She says, I'm sending you and everyone all the love and healing energy. Girl, your readings are everything. Such an inspiration. Sending my lucky numbers. I appreciate that so much. I really love that. Thank you. I love seeing your lucky numbers. I love that. Thank you. Okay. So let's say you're grinding your teeth. In the meantime, I do feel like it will pass, but in the meantime, you can use a mouth guard or something like that in order to help it. The other thing that I'm seeing is if you guys are using you're having sinus issues, you can use things like sinus flushes. Be easy with yourself, you guys. The body is taking on a lot right now in ways that you can't even see it. Your body is doing this. Your body can pick up on vibrations going on in the world, the planets around it, and it does its best to kind of adjust. And when your body is adjusting, we feel kind of creaky, we feel kind of achy. It can impact us in different ways. So I really want you guys to be very mindful of how you're working with, this energy right now, the pressure, the intensity of it. Speaking of which, we have a lot of energy going on with a lot of vibes with getting triggered by Gemini. Something was standing out to me. Even though Mercury is moving through the sign of Aries, Mercury rules Gemini. Venus is sitting in the sign of Gemini. The part of fortune is sitting in the sign of Gemini. And I'm just getting this really strong sense of, and I don't know if it's necessarily Gemini energy, but to me, on an energetic level, it feels very Gemini-ish. Like it gives me Gemini vibes because it's Mercury moving through it's Mercury moving through the sign of Aries, and all of the rest of the energy just kind of pushing down and putting pressure. If you guys remember, I don't read just the one transit. I read the chart as a whole. So when I look at the chart, the symbols, the imagery, it triggers visions for me. It triggers words, it triggers visions and prophecies. These are the things that it is I'm pulling from. So what I'm saying here, you usually will not hear other astrologers or actual astrologers saying the same thing as me, because I actually see things. So, and I receive messages in that way. It's the Sun square Pluto type energy in action. It reminds me of Gemini vibes when you see a Gemini irritated, when you see them irritable. Sometimes they can internalize it and you wouldn't know, but there's this level of irritation, aggression, and irritability. And it can really spark, you'll get triggered by certain things externally that can really spark agitation, irritation, aggression that you'd be feeling. So you might see a spike in anxiety. Those are some things that are real that you might be able to see. Okay? So I want you guys to just be aware of that. Instead of taking these feelings and getting frustrated by them and getting triggered by it, remember to ground yourself. We're still working with Capricorn energy. After all, we're also working with fire energy. So what you want to do is you want to get it physically out. There's a really strong need, and it's this very conflicting energy that we're working with, but I want to talk to you guys 100%. So at least you know what it is that we're working with. right? So how is it that we feel this sense of grounding and centering, but we also need to get physically active? We also need to physically grind it out, right? We need to physically push it out. We have to physically exert this energy. If you say in a space where you're like your normal methods of using meditation or using prayer, in any other circumstance, in any other time, that could work. But I want you guys to realize that there are many of my clients that using meditation all by itself is not enough. They're the type of people that they have to get out. In fact, them actually sitting and focusing on mindfulness for too long, or focusing on breathing, and that being their only meditative act, it actually adds to their frustration. It adds to their anxiety, but they feel isolated and annoyed and even more irritated because they're like, there's something wrong with me because the internet says, or everyone says to meditate, everyone says to breathe, and that is enough. It's not enough for everyone. We're all different. Everyone has unique strengths and talents and things that work for them and things that don't work for them. Okay, so it's not just one and done for all of us. So go out, physically exercise, physically work out, do whatever it is that you got to do in order to heat it up. We're working with heat right now. We're working with earth. So get your temperature up, get your blood pressure up. There's anger, there's frustrations. This is another thing too, you guys. Someone just mentioned yoga and dance. Yoga is good, but if you're normally do like more restorative flows, you can do that, but also try the more aggressive poses, like maybe even our dominant poses like warrior pose, but also maybe take your yoga exercise, instead of going slow, speed it up. Make the moves a little bit faster, get the blood pressure, the body temperature rising. Okay, it really is going to help. Emily Page is saying dance. Absolutely. Instead of doing slow, methodical dances, which that's fine, really get aggressive. Really not aggressive, but masculine, very fast moving, whatever it is that you got to do. Okay, whatever it is that you got to do to get the blood, the heat in the body, working with this heat instead of becoming a victim to it. Okay, I want all of us to be able to work with this. Rhiannon says Breath of Fire has been amazing for me. Absolutely. There you go. That's perfect. Lorraine says kickboxing. There you go. Absolutely. Nicolita, I love your name. I probably just butchered it though, but she says Zumba. Perfect. Absolutely. Okay, so those are some ways. Biking, really aggressively going out and biking. Kayaking, but kayak fast. Whatever it is that you got to do. All right. Some of you guys have to crunch, like do crunches. So I want to say that there's these polarities, right? Where, wait, someone said smoking helps. Honestly, you really want to be careful and mindful of that, because even though, let's say if you're smoking herb, you're smoking marijuana, weed, ganja, whatever it is you want to call it, the devil's lettuce, whatever it is that you want to call it, some people are starting to use that as a crutch and a numbing device to help them to mellow them out from actually feeling the feelings. So you want to be very, very careful about even things like that the rest of the world might be saying, oh yeah, you're so mellow, you're so chill, but in reality you could be numbing yourself from experiencing things and kind of allowing things to kind of pass. You might be too go with the flow. Okay. Miss Giggles Baby says twerking every day keeps the demons away, and that is so true. You gotta twerk, you gotta twerk. Whatever it is that you gotta do. All right, so moving forward, there's this intensity and also a reminder to have fun. One of my best reached out to me and was just saying that, there is an intensity, I'm going to use this person as an example, without mentioning names or anything like that. But there's this intensity, there's this desire, this heat. You can feel the heat, you can feel the passion coming from her. And that is Jupiter conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, absolutely. But she's also, all of us are under the influence of Sun square Pluto right now, and Sun square Jupiter. It's exact on the 14th. Sun square Pluto. It's exact. Sun square Jupiter is exact on the 15th, but we're feeling this now. And no matter how, what just came through actually is like the demons that plague us, right? And by demons, I don't mean actual demons. Hopefully you're not being stalked by anything demonic. And if that's truly the case, then it's time for an exorcism. But it's just, there's shadow sides of the self that we might not be so comfortable embracing or sitting with. We have to really sit with it and ask ourselves, this intensity that I'm feeling, this pressure that I'm feeling, where is it coming from? And I want you guys to be very careful, because there's some of you guys who are spending a lot of time asking yourselves these deep questions to the point where life is starting to get too heavy. Your life experience is not meant to be heavy all the time. It's very good to heal. It's very good to move past traumas and to understand the trauma and to understand your brain and to heal from it. But it's also equally important to have fun and to embrace this life and to not have things heavy all the time. That's why I really appreciate my personal friend circle. We don't really talk about heavy things all the time. And in fact, we spend a lot of time laughing about the silliest things. Oh my God. And I appreciate that. I actually push back a lot away from people who are spending too much time in the shadow sides. Because me personally, I've been there, I've done that. And it's really important for me right now, in order to balance out my own personal life, my own personal energy, that I spend it in the light, in play, in sunlight, and those types of things. And when it's time for me to focus on the shadow with a friend, with a family member, with a client, help them to work through it, I do it, but I don't allow it to come into my personal life right now. Okay. So what I want you guys why I'm saying this is because we have to really, I want to invite you guys this week to learn how to balance both of those sides of your life and this energy that we're working with. So there's going to be this space of, this really intense desire, this intense need. Some of you guys really want to connect with someone. Some of you guys really have this desire for something to manifest. There's something that you are putting all of your energy in, putting all of that pressure that you're feeling from the planets, you're putting all that pressure onto a thing, a person, a goal, yourself, your whatever it is, fill in the blank. It's different for everyone. An expectation, your health, your body, right? And at the same time, Spirit and the planets are saying, recognize that intensity. Don't pretend like it's not there. Don't ignore it. Don't try to bypass it and be like, oh no, I'm not feeling what is it I'm feeling. That's not real. That's just whatever. I'm going to ignore it. No, observe it. It is real. You're feeling it. You're experiencing it. Absolutely. But don't take that intensity and then burn it. Allow it to burn a hole into a relationship, into yourself, into your psyche, into your healing, into your happiness, into your joy. Okay? So let's say, I'm going to use an example. Let's say you're really trying to connect with someone. We've got Venus moving through Gemini right now. Okay? Venus is attraction, and it also rules love. It rules beauty, and it rules money, things that are valuable, tangible things. And it's moving through Gemini, which is a sign that is very lighthearted. It's very curious. It's very explorative. Is that a word? If it isn't, I just turned it into a word, right? It wants to communicate. So if you want, but at the same time, as Venus is in this lighthearted energy, we still have the rest of the planets pushing all of the weight and the pressure down onto you. So you might be wanting to connect with friends or connecting with family or using social media, especially in quarantine times. All of us could be using, text messaging or phone calls or FaceTime or WhatsApp or Zoom calls or whatever the case is, in order to, build attraction and build a bond and build intimacy and, whatever, relationships. A lot of you guys are on the phone talking with new people, having online dates. That is so Venus and Gemini. So when you're doing that, don't allow the pressure of the world to bleed into the spontaneity and the curiosity and the exploration and the conversation, the lighthearted conversation, the enjoyment, the pleasure of what is it you're experiencing here. There's, especially if both parties aren't onto it. All right. So we have to be very respectful. So if we're looking at these planets, you guys, I really want you guys to take a really good, long, hard look at yourself. Because when we're working with Sun moving through the sign of Aries, Mercury moving through the sign of Aries, Sun square Pluto, Sun square Jupiter, what we have is you have to really ask yourself, am I being respectful of this person, their needs? Are they being respectful of my needs, my desires, my boundaries? Because there's this push, there's this desire, there's this ambitious, I want it to be this way. I want to feel this way. I want this to happen. And it's not that it can't, just now's not the time. Now's not the time. We want to be very reflective. We want to be very open to self-reflecting and asking ourselves, am I being respectful of everything? Am I being respectful of the divine? Am I being very respectful of Kali Ma? Am I being respectful of myself? Am I being respectful with my partner? Or am I forcing my will? Am I forcing my desire? Am I forcing my intent onto them? On the surface level, we can look at it and we can say, well, I want to connect with them. I want this to be a certain way. I want us to do this because this is going to be so good for us. Or this is going to be so good for me. And that's all about you at the end of the day. So we want to take this, and I'm using this energy right now. And I'm telling you that we have this me type of energy, and there's a lot of pressure that's pushing down. And at the same time, the planets are saying, as we are pushing, as there is pressure, we don't want you to get lost in that, because there's too much. So come back up here, go back into the light space. I'm saying this, and I want you guys to realize that how hard this could be. The level, this type of energy, this type of pressure, this type of level of annoyance is, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense thing. We're at a 9.8, 9.7, 9.8. That's the intensity that we're working with. So I don't want you guys to feel for 1 second that I'm saying, oh, this is going to be easy. Just meditate. It's going to pass over. As a spiritual person, as a spiritual teacher, as a spiritual practitioner, as a person who studies spirituality, as a person who studies the planets, and also as a human being, I will always come to you guys and tell you very honestly that there is not just one way for having a good positive experience or a good experience. There's got to be different ways. We have to learn how to work with all of this type of energy. We can't just be okay, I'm just going to meditate and it's going to pass over. The reality is that the majority of you guys are going to be so fucking irritated. Desiree Castro just said, I've been snapping lately. I bet some of you guys are going to be so irritated, so agitated, so annoyed, so irritable, so angry, so frustrated, in so much pain, so much anxiety, that to ask you to sit and to meditate first is a disservice to you. It's not realistic, and it's not something that your angels, your spirit guides would even encourage. If anything, you get that frustration out, you punch out, using a punching bag, jogging, doing crunches, doing squats, whatever it is that you got to do first to the point where you're tired, and then meditate. That's when you can meditate. Then you'll actually see a better result from it. Okay? Some of you guys will have to go for a walk, right? You have to throw everything aside. You got to disconnect, totally disconnect, and go for a walk. No phones, no nothing, no phone calls, no distraction, no noise. Maybe you got to listen to some Bangarang, hashtag Skrillex, you know what I mean? Whatever it is you got to do to get it out. You have to find something that is a reflection of what is that you're feeling. Embrace it, feel it, be with it. All right. Let's say there's new love during this time. There's a lot of you guys that are finding new love on apps, social media, sliding into each other's DMs. I see you. I see you. I see you doing it. Deciding to, send a direct message there, a little conversation, a little engagement, and then it escalates into a phone call or a text message. Next thing you know, you guys are FaceTiming and then spending quality time together. Have fun with it. All right. That's not to say that this can't happen, build into something else. There's a lot of astrologers. There's a lot of people on the internet who say that Venus moving through Gemini doesn't promise long-lasting, long-term relationships. No, that's not the case. It's just the energy that we're working with in the moment. It's not to say that it can't be long-lasting. It's not to say that it can't be forever if that's what it is that you want. You just don't want to put pressure on a person or on yourself in order to make a thing before it's time. We always want to be the key word is respect. We want to be very respectful of astrology timing. Wait, sincerely, Clarissa says, base nectar. Exactly. She gets it. Yes, you get it. Okay. So for those of you guys that need inspiration, Skrillex and base nectar will really do it for you. Who else? What's that mouse? Dead Mouse. Is that his name? I forget. I used to go to, in Philadelphia, we would have Made in America, back in my day, I used to go to the Made in America concert in Philadelphia. And I was always they would have these major, I actually saw Beyonce. That's when I saw Beyonce for the first time. But they would have EDM, like the EDM shows. And I almost got arrested. Yep, true story. Almost got arrested because I climbed up a tree and I was just fist pumping because that's what you do. And they tried to, the police were like, you need to get down. And I was like, what? So I almost got arrested, but it was worth it. The reason why I'm saying that is because, sometimes you got to get that vibe out. You really have to find things that vibe with you, that you can feel, that resonate. And that definitely was it. Okay. So yeah, Beyonce was at Made in America concert. I don't remember which one, but I definitely saw her. I had to fight to get to the front, ma'am. Yes, I did. And I didn't really fight anyone, but I set intention. I was like, I'm gonna see Beyonce. I will be in the front. And she's my Virgo sister. Come on, we Virgos, we stick together. We find each other no matter what. So there's literally this reserved spot for me in my mind. I set intention for it, so of course it happened. Anyway, so this is the vibe that we're working with, you guys. I'm can you guys hear me? Still? Can we guys, my headphones, I got these new headphonies and my volume's still working. It just went out a little bit. I love them, but at the same time, they don't, the battery power doesn't stay very long. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Perfect. You guys can still hear me. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Wow. Okay, cool. Sometimes, spending these times in these chats is so humbling. Sometimes when I sit, sometimes you guys know I stay very focused, and then sometimes I'll just sit for a second and I'll observe. I'm observing right now, and it's just amazing that we have this chat right now. It's just dope. So dope. Thank you guys. I can't believe we're here right now. Wild. Okay, so on the 19th, the 18th is a great day for setting a date. If you don't have something special, don't make it too intense. Make it fun. Okay, keep it light. A lot of people, even if they want something serious, we need light energy. So I don't know. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm a Virgo. And which I said, and I'm not the best when it comes to arranging dates. So, and where are my Libras at? Libras and Aries, where are you guys at? You guys are the kings and queens of making really nice dates. Throw some really light-hearted date ideas for quarantine, hashtag self-isolation vibes. For those of you guys who are going to have dates on the 18th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th are some of the best dates. Best dates. Have dates on this day. Slide into those DMs. Where are you guys at? Think of ideas of how to do a date during this time. Maybe a movie. What are my Aries and my Libra people? What are you guys watching now? Are you guys watching anything on Netflix? Are there any movies? Are there any, maybe you guys have like a game that you guys play? I'm a Virgo and I am the worst when it comes to making dates. For me, I'm just like, let's just go to the park. I don't know. Let's go to the park. Help me answer my emails. That's what romance looks like to me. Help me answer my emails. Don't get mad at me when I don't text you back. That's our date. Don't get mad at me. I answered your phone call. What more do you want from me? Hashtag Virgo vibes. Okay, wait. Siren on Hulu. Okay, legacies. Mermaids. Oh, someone said, Desiree says she FaceTimes with her girlfriend. I love that. Yes, keep it really light. Play games somehow. I don't know. Words with friends. What is it? Cards Against Humanity. That could be fun. Apples to apples if you're not old enough, which hopefully you are. Hopefully everyone's 18 and over in my chat. You should not be here if you're younger than that. We talk too much. We talk too real for the younger ones over here. Okay, someone says they're watching The Office. Someone not too long ago, another Virgo was talking about how much they love The Office, but I spend so much time working, you know what I mean, that I never really gave The Office a chance. Then I started watching it, and I was like, wow, is this Love Goals? What is the name of the two of them, the girl and the guy, the one who's the receptionist and the dude who's like, they are goals. They are love goals. They are the sweetest thing. Yes, Dwight. Oh my God, Dwight. Literally, his face is okay. Wait. Someone said 20 questions. That's a perfect date conversation. Someone write that down. 20 questions if you go on a date with someone, or maybe go on a date with yourself. I'm all about that goddess vibes type of energy, just really taking care of yourself. Yes, Pam and Jim, they are seriously the sweetest thing ever. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it, you guys. That's literally all I wanna share for right now. I wanna pull some cards. Is that cool? That's something that we haven't done in forever. I'm gonna be working with the pre-Raphaelites. Normally we don't shuffle cards in the Astro Chat Live. I pretty much keep that for Sacred Circle Tarot School, where we talk about tarot way more intimately. And then also, those of you guys who are in the Sacred Circle, you shuffle for yourself and you pull your own cards up on the group, in our group community, which you guys, Sacred Circle, we are going to be going live tomorrow, 7 p.m., and I'm going to be making some more announcements there. So don't mind me. I'm just getting my cards ready. Let's see. What should we focus on? I'm just really getting this strong need to shuffle for us for right now, just to help to end this on a positive, a high note, a really high note, which I feel like we typically do. Let's see. Okay. Love advice. Vanetta says, yeah, see, thank you for the super chat, my love. But remember, no personal questions. This is for everybody. Yeah. Raphaelite. I had this crazy epiphany this week. I'm shuffling, but I had this crazy epiphany personally during this time. I'm going to share a quick story with you guys. You know, and I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't trying to have an epiphany. I feel like I've had enough. I feel so blessed with the level of epiphanies and levels of awareness. Thank you so much, Troya, seriously, for that super chat. I appreciate you so much.
But during this time, I just am getting this really intense connection to the universe, to the divine, like this all loving, compassionate, honest force. And it's during this quarantine time that it's coincidentally, it's a coincidence that we're able to be under the pressure, the weight of what's going on in the world. And look at that. See, look, oh my God. See, I'm not even surprised. I always get the Justice card and the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the Fool card. But I'm going to put that aside for now. But, it's just, spending additional time with yourself and with the divine and with spirit, and just not even asking for anything, but just being in the presence of that, and, taking your time with that, not needing anything, not wanting anything, not asking for anything, just presence. Like you guys ever have that feeling when just like presence, like being in the presence of spirit, or your ancestors, or the person that you love, whoever or whatever it is. Like for me right now, it's the divine, right? Like that's just enough. Like that's really like, that just fills my cup up so much. So I've been getting some really incredible epiphanies from that lately. Things that it is I'm not even asking for. And it almost feels like the more that I've stopped asking spirit for things, stop even setting intention, the more that spirit's just like just comes in and just like a breeze, just like blows glitter into my life. And that glitter has been in the form of like just total moments of clarity, peace. I feel like alignment. I feel so aligned with things. And I'm just like, wow. So now it's like when I'm taking care of, like for me, like I ground myself by taking care of my plants and taking care of my dog, going for walks, even doing my work, working on the candles and stuff. So, the fixed candles and whatnot, even doing things like that, working on the oils, it feels so like I always had an intense connection, but the intensity of it is like, there's like this vibe, there's energy, that like electricity that's coming off of it. It's like a different level of power that I feel like I don't even have a name for it. Even as I'm saying this, there's like a little fly that's like attracted to me right now as I'm talking about it. But there's no name for it, but that's just where I've been at lately. So I just feel like even still, it's like more of a testament to what can happen when you work with your, dang it, this little bug. Okay, so what does our group need to hear? Collective message for the whole. Okay, we have some cards jumping out. Okay, clarifying. Clarifying. Please clarify that. That's funny though. I just heard protection again. It kind of is bringing me back to the original message and prophecy. I feel like there's a really strong need for protection, you guys. If you can do this, every single one of us, it's not that we're under attack, but I feel as though you need protection. I have charms, right? I'm not going to show you my charm, but in my hand, I'm holding a charm. And this charm is something that I've charged intentionally for protection. That when I hold on to it, when it's in my pocket, when I'm walking around, that the intention of this is, and as I'm holding this, I could feel the fire coming off of it, right? So what I want you guys to do is this week, at some point, get a crystal, get a charm, get a rock, an acorn, something. You guys laugh at me sometimes, but literally, it's someone just mentioned my protection oil. Even if you don't have my protection oil, put the protection over you, all by yourself. You set the intention for protection, okay? I've worked really powerfully. You guys have heard me say this before with an avocado seed. Something, it could even be that. But you really want to hold a charm with, or give it that energy protection. And basically the way that you want to do it, for most of us, if your right hand is your dominant hand, then you want to take the charm and you want to place it in your left. And then you take your right hand and you close it over the left hand. So it's cupped in there. So it's actually resting in the hand that is your weakest. And basically what happens is that that energy, that strong hand, pushes your intent, your will, your prayers, whatever, into the charm, and it allows it to receive that energy of protection. I just had a client today, actually. I sent her protection oil because I could feel that she needed it. But do the same thing for yourself, you guys. And this is what I do for my oils, but also anything that I'm charging. Or if I can't get my hands on it, I can redirect my hand and work with my hands in that way. But let's say it's a crystal and you push it into your hand and you can say a prayer. So for those of you guys that have a Christian background, you can use a psalm, one of the psalms, or a phrase from a Bible, a chant that it is. If you're working with Hindu gods or goddesses, you could say a phrase or a mantra from something that just feels really powerful to you. And let's say you're not religious, or have no your spirituality isn't rooted in anything like that. You can say a powerful mantra, something that reminds you or speaks protection over you. I am protected. I am whole. I am healthy. I am well. Let nothing touch me or reach me if it has ill intention or if it's there to try to hurt me or destroy me in any way. All right. So even if it's something as simple as that, it is enough. And you could say it 3 times. That's usually what I do, is I say it 3 times. Okay. And then carry it with you. So I'm definitely getting this space of protection here, this need for protection. And I'm also seeing things burning, feeling like burning. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Just look at it as you're channeling, you're pulling from the universe, you're pulling from the planets. Little Gypsy C says, I will be safe. There you go. There you go. Marcy M says, hi Jess, I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you, my love. I'm grateful for you too. Yeah. Say no more, fam. Okay, what about this card over here? All right, there's a lot of cards that jumped up there, and I'm going to give it to you. Good. All right. So just be open to receiving this message, you guys. And I'm setting the intention that it's good for everyone, that it's, protecting everyone. So the 3 main cards that are jumping out for us this week are the Queen of Wands, the 8 of Cups, and also the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords really stands out to me because this is where I'm really getting this strong sense of Archangel Michael vibes and this space of protection. I'm also very interested and intrigued by the Queen of Wands because she's connected to fire signs, but more importantly, fire energy. So it really resonates as far. And as I'm looking at this, I see that she's holding this corn. But if you put corn on the stove, it turns into popcorn. Woo! Surprises. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. This working with this heat in order to be transformed, in order to be evolved, in order to work with alchemy for things to transition, to move forward, in order to be a good thing. But at the same time, I'm getting this sense of we need battles, like we need certain things kind of coming in to block us from getting trampled, or to sweep us off our feet if we're about to fall, to catch us if we're about to fall, to lift us up if we're feeling down. We want to work with this heat, fire energy. So I want to invite you guys, it is okay for you to call out to the universe and direct this energy, or work with the planets to direct this energy into your own protection. Do not feel like, okay, there's people who are working with the coronavirus, and there's people who are sick or dying, or there's people who have issues with their finances, or whatever the circumstances is. Don't compare your problem or your protection or your life or your dilemma to theirs, because this world is abundant. It will give to every single one of us equally. Call out for what you need. Work with this fire energy and channel it into your own protection. Because if you are weak, if you are struggling, if you're limping, or if you're afraid that you're going to limp,
then that impacts all of us. So every single one of us needs to be strong. Every single one of us needs to be on point. Every single one of us deserves the same chance. Okay. So let's say you're worried about, losing your job, or maybe you did lose your job. You even more still call in protection, because we need to work to cut these, just like I have the swords here. This is here as a reminder that this is, say the word fam, and I will come through and I will cut it through with a power and a blade sharper than you've never known. So we are moving from here and we've cut into it. We're breaking the barrier. We're breaking the obstacle. We're powering through. So allow that energy to fold. If you guys are getting distracted by comments, the comments that are going through, let Mel and Eric do their job. You guys have too much to gain from listening to me and focusing on me and this message. I'm not doing this because I want attention. I'm doing this because I'm sharing a message with you guys. Don't get distracted by the comments. If you're getting distracted and you're engaging with, in the comments, you're distracted and you're missing the mark. Let Mel and Eric do their jobs. If there's bullshit, they'll handle it, okay? So come back and focus. That's literally like, let that be your own epiphany, that some of you guys get very distracted by things that you shouldn't be focusing your attention on it. Meanwhile, you're getting like words of life given to you and you're focusing on distraction. That's Mel and Eric's job to do that. I literally have two people who are here in order to protect you so that you can focus on this and you're focusing on them and what they're doing. Leave them alone. Eric and Mel do their job. Focus. Come back. And if you don't, that's up to you. If you want to put a comment, by all means, do it, but don't get distracted by the comments, okay? That's what you don't want to do with this time. This is precious time, okay? So you want to call in. For me, I love Archangel Michael, and I also, Kali Ma is Goddess Mother. She does the do. Oh my God, I love Kali Ma. Don't call in her if she didn't come to you herself. You don't want to pull that type of energy in. I mean, to each their own. Anyways, this is the heat and the weight and the pressure of the world. This shows me, you guys, that some of the things that you're dealing with they're very intense. This is validation. This is validation for the intensity of these issues, of this problem, of this solution, of this path. It is a global thing. It is that serious. And every single thing, every single living being, whether it's an ant or an elephant, a human being or a dog, all of those things get factored in. So you need to just arm up. You really need to arm up, and everybody needs to be equally protected and equally given to, and given this heat fire, this heat energy. Meanwhile, we have, oh, hey, Mocha Barbie. I haven't seen you in forever. It's good to see you. I didn't know that your real name was Leslie. That's one of my favorite aunt's names, actually. Her name is Leslie. Next card was the Eight of Cups, supported by the Queen of Swords. And again, this is about the power of the mind, boundaries. But it's so interesting because I'm seeing that for some of you guys, it's boundaries with other people and external things, and what you watch on the TV, what you're listening to, all of those things. Jennifer Ferguson says, "Thank you, Jess. The global nature is missed in The global nature is missed in many cases. Grateful for you. Thank you, my love. I appreciate you so much." But I'm also seeing that you guys need to be very firm with yourselves. There's certain aspects of yourself that you have to actively decide, I'm going to cut myself clear of this. That looked like I was just chopping off my arm. But maybe that's a metaphor. Maybe you guys, it literally feels like you have to chop off your arm. Not that you're going to do this, but it's like a metaphor that it's like, it feels like, like you have to actively decide for yourself that I am no longer going to engage and be distracted or pay attention to the noise. I'm no longer going to allow this person to infiltrate into my energy. I'm no longer going to allow myself to fall into this old way of thinking or this old lifestyle. I need my power. I own my power. I leave that behind and I step into my power. The word is, I don't know why, but I just heard diversity. I don't know why that word came through, but okay, Spirit says look it up. Rude. I know what diversity means. Ugh. Fine. A variety. Okay. So it could be a range of different things. Spirit says, okay, there's a range of different things that you want to be exposed to instead of just one thing. You actually want diversity. You actually want to mix and mingle. You actually want, but you don't want to mix and mingle with the wrong thing. This is not a color thing. This is not a cultural thing. This is not a sex or gender thing. It's energy that we're working with. So Spirit is saying that you need to cut yourself free from whatever this is, this little bubble. And it's a thing that you have to be the Queen of Swords. You have to channel the Queen of Swords and say, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for us. And I'm going to step into this. It's willpower over everything. The mind and the heart can move a mountain. The mind and the heart can move a mountain. You say it, you put that word out there, you put that message out there, you know who you are, you know what you're about, you know the strength of your word and what you want. And if you know who you are and you know your value, then that means that you can't be intermingling with people who don't respect your value and don't reflect your intention. Why are you still engaging with that type of energy when you see yourself as this and all of this other stuff is going on in the world? There's too much to lose by intermingling with things that are lower vibration. And maybe you are so stuck in one way of thinking, one way of seeing things, or finding things that are similar to you. And Spirit literally just said diversity. It said diversity. Find something different. Find something new. Find something that's not your normal. That's not your normal culture. Like, find a different way. Some of you guys might be exploring different practices, different belief systems, different spirituality. I just looked at the clock, 1:11, or an hour and 11 minutes that we've been on here. We're almost done. But some of you guys are exploring different cultures, different belief systems, different practices, and incorporating them and seeing the similarities between them and seeing the strength and pulling your strength from it. You might be studying different languages. You might be seeing different things, different ways, different modalities of stuff. There's so much. This message can apply to everyone. This is just what's coming through. But it's this willpower, this sense of purpose. I want you guys to know that the sun is conjunct the vertex point. The vertex right now, well, almost exact, but it's right now. And the vertex point is the point of fated encounters. It's everything that's provoking you, everything that's triggering you, everything that is making you feel like this is not enough. I want more for myself. Where can I go? What can I do? Who am I? I am. I am. That's the mantra of Aries energy. Sun is in Aries right now. I am. Who are you? Define yourself. Not in a space of being critical on yourself, or I just heard the word hyper, but it's not hyper. Damn. It's like when you pass a judgment on someone. It starts with an H. Spirit just said it and I lost it. Darn, I missed it. Like, when you pass judgment on someone, like, it's not hypocrisy. I don't know. It's not being a hypocrite. It's being like making an assumption on someone. Making an assumption on something. Of, I've seen this before, so it can only be this way. Like, you'd be surprised. Don't guess, you guys, but thank you. It's not hypocritical. It's something else. I don't know. Spirit said it and it was gone. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you guys, we have 6 of Swords. We have 8 of Swords. We have King of Swords. We have Knight of Pentacles. We have Strength card. All of these cards are underneath the Queen of Wands. And Queen of Wands is fire energy, but I'm also getting the sense of working with that fire energy, like super fire, heat.
So this is about being confident. This is about knowing your worth, knowing your value, and owning it even further. So we have willpower and intellect matched with actual energy and confidence and self-assertion, like asserting yourself, putting yourself out there. Okay. So then we have King of Swords, which is the match to the Queen of Swords. Interesting that they both came up. But right next to that, we have the Eight of Swords. So Eight of Swords is this idea of powerlessness. Sometimes when we look at the Eight of Swords, we think, I'm anxious, I'm paranoid. But right now, when I'm seeing the Eight of Swords, I get a sense of powerless. You might not even realize, some of you guys, when you look at Eight of Swords, you instantly want to be like, oh, well, I don't feel that way because I'm anxious. I'm not anxious. Lethargy, being lethargic just came through. This sense of, I lost my zest for life. I lost my zest for this. I lost my sense of compassion. I used to be this is some of you guys, this is what I'm hearing. I used to be such a compassionate person. I used to have such an open heart. And now I just kind of surrender into this truth that this is what it is. This is the way that it is. The world is a harsh place. The world is cruel. And that's simply not the case. That's the Eight of Swords. It's not about being anxious. It's the fact that you've almost succumbed to a certain mindset that says that this is the way that it is. And Spirit is saying, no, diversify. Like diversity. You need diversity. You need to see different. I got to pull the word up again. That's how Spirit works though. With me though, is I'll hear a word. I know what it means. Wow, the definition just disappeared. Okay. Yeah, a range of different things. You have to see. So the thing is, Eight of Truth, right? One truth. There's one truth that fits in all of us, that factors in all of us, or this all-loving presence energy that bleeds into, so God or the divine bleeds into all of these different things so that you can see it, so that it resonates, so that it's relatable. Spirit is saying this one word, this one truth that says, listen, you have to diversify. You have to see that there's more else there, that there's other things out there, and come back into one with that one truth. It's not just, this is what I know it to be because of my past experiences. Sometimes with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, you take from your past experiences and you apply them into the present, and you base that becomes your reality. They are very quick to say that this is a fact. But the thing is that these cards, I do not see them as that right now. I don't feel them as that. I see them as the one truth. Masculine and feminine energies, so active and receiving, passive and dominant, those things coming together into this one truth that is equal and very different, but very powerful. And it comes through and it says that there is a fact. There's a one specific fact for you to receive this week and leading into the next week. That's going to help you to move forward. That's going to help you to mentally find this clarity in your mind, in your spirit, in your energy. It's like a reset button, and it brings you back to life again. I just heard verse, like one verse. Oh, which makes sense. Universe. The word is verse. I had to look at the word verse. Verse definition. Writing arranged with the metrical rhythm. Speak in or compose a verse, versify. Yeah, I don't know why the word verse is coming through, but it's a word, a message, like a word, something that's clear, something that I find it interesting that it says rhythm, like a metrical rhythm. So it's like tick, tick, tick. So it's about time, like it's a time, like a ticking in time, that when this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, tick, 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 tick.
it has, and at the same time, it's like, I'm going off the deep end, but this is what it's been um, like it has so much meaning and it means nothing at the same time. That's what's just coming through right now, you guys. Anyways, to summarize it, to bring it back down to a more easy to digest level, so that everyone is able to benefit from this message. Basically, what I'm seeing, you guys, is right now this week is about really coming into a space of clarity, reconnecting to the universe, and getting your own epiphany on what is true for you, and to not limit yourself to the ways that you have experienced it, and be open to this new way of experiencing. All right, you guys. So, and be open to what that will look like. Okay. So use that strength, that willpower in the way that works for you. And for everyone, it's so different. All right, my loves, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you to my angels and my guides, and Kalima, for working with me, and the divine for working with me, to be able to speak to you guys today and to pass the message on. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your clarity. I'm saying this on behalf of myself, but also for everyone within the Astro Live chat. For those of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight for this week's Astro Live chat. Stephanie says, do you still live in New Orleans? No, my love. I'm currently in Florida, sunny Florida. I am not in New Orleans, but I send you so much love, so much blessings. If you love this video and you benefited from it, and you want to see more of them, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Until then, I will see you guys next week. And Sacred Circle Tarot School, we're going live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys there if you're a part of the group. Mel and Eric, thank you guys so much. Eric, I'm about to call you in a minute. So stay tuned, okay? I love you guys. Bye.